Live from Los Angeles here on this Sunday morning, you're watching Breaking Box Office as we have a big film in the marketplace debuting. Finally, it's been a number of weeks, but we do have Wonka, and it debuted with $39 million stateside, which is a little bit above expectations. Let's look at the numbers right now from the Warner Brothers email. They do a great job. Can I say this morning as I get started? That no one does it better when it comes to box office details than Warner Brothers. Here it is, 39 million, 4,200 screens, about 9,300 per. Here are the headlines right here. It is an A- cinema score, which is not fantastic as far as a family film goes. Everyone says A- is good in school. Yeah, it is. But for cinema score, you really want to stay at an A or higher for a film like this. But here's what's significant about that, and Warner Brothers definitely points it out. You look here at the under 18 female demo. They give it an A plus. That's what drives a lot of this business, like Hunger Games, now at almost $150 million. That's very significant that audience seems to love this film, certainly more than me. But this film also has a very big benefit ahead of it. It's called the Christmas Corridor. Every time we get to this point in the year, this is the biggest 2 weeks of the movie-going calendar coming up right now. That's why you have so much coming into the marketplace starting next weekend. You get Aquaman 2, you get Migration, you get that rom-com. What's it called, the Sony rom-com? You know, the one with Glenn Powell and Sydney, whatever her name is. That you get all these films right now because audiences are off, right? They have school off the kids. Parents are taking off, traveling, going to movies, going out to dinner. That's what's going to happen. So it's going to benefit from that. Let's go look at the numbers from the PLF screens, which would be, the IMAX, the Dolby, and the RPX, 40X, all that stuff. 33% of the business. Not really a film you need to see in these PLF formats. It's perfectly acceptable to watch this film at a normal screen. I'm just telling you my expectation for you, having watched the film. There's really no reason to do that. But if you want to, and you have AMC A-List or Regal Unlimited, and you can go ahead and do that for no extra charge, then do it for sure. All right, let's look at the top 10 locations, and we'll get into the world numbers. Global numbers already at 150 million plus on Wonka, which is very impressive. Let's do the top 10. I know you guys love this. The theaters that did the best. Number 1, the Megaplex Jordan Commons in Salt Lake City. The Mormons like Wonka. There's your headline this morning. AMC Lincoln Square, New York. AMC Empire, New York City. AMC Disney Springs down in Orlando. AMC Grove, LA. Century City here in Los Angeles, AMC 6. 7 is AMC Burbank. We're letting everyone down this weekend. My home theater only in 7th place because they know this film's a mid. It's very mid film. But we love to see success. We love to see theatrical succeed. So, of course, we're going to be excited for that part of it. Harkins, Estrella Falls, Phoenix, always on the list. Number 9, Megaplex, Geneva, Salt Lake City. Again, the Mormons in big for Wonka. Huge. At number 1 and number 9, Utah. And number 10, SIF Cinema, downtown Seattle. I wonder how safe that is. Oh, let's not do politics. Do you want to top 10 DMA markets? LA, New York, Dallas, Salt Lake is at 4. So LA's number 1. At least we're number 1 in the DMAs. San Francisco, Chicago, Houston, Toronto, Phoenix, and Seattle. Let's go to the world. The global numbers, again, I mentioned this is at 151 million already. So this is in great position because what you're going to see, I can only bring you back to The Greatest Showman, a film that debuted under $10 million opening weekend. This is already at 39, okay? So Greatest Showman under 10, and then that multiple, one of the biggest multiples you'll ever see for a film, as it just killed it over the Christmas vacation, the Christmas corridor, and this film's already way ahead of that. Is Wonka? Wonka's nowhere near as entertaining as Greatest Showman. The songs, for one thing, we can talk about this tonight. I don't want to, this is a tight stream, but anyone who says any of the songs from Wonka even holds a candle to anything from Greatest Showman, my God, you are off, and you couldn't be more off with that opinion. That's bad. Well, let's look at the overall this weekend when it debuted. Now, remember, last weekend Wonka was in a few markets. So this weekend. We've got it at 112 million all in with another 53.6 international. So the worldwide total now, because remember, it opened out last weekend, it's at 151.4. Very impressive. Let's go through the top markets quickly on this. United States, obviously number one, 39 million. UK has been there for 2 weeks now, and it's at $7.9 million. France at 5.1, Mexico 4 million, Australia 4, Italy 3.4, and that is how you end up with 151 million, the number one film across the globe, including an exceptional 30% hold from 37 markets that opened last weekend. So that's also a very good sign going forward, because you want to see the whole 30% holds great, right? Anything under 50, and this is 20% under that number of 50. So very solid numbers here for Wonka. As we go over some other things, couple comments, and we are going to get out of here. It's tight. Tonight we got a big stream, talk more about Rebel Moon, talk about Netflix destroying Hollywood. What do I mean by that? We'll discuss that. But let's talk about Poor Things. It did expand this weekend. I'm going to pull up the top 10 right now, and you're going to see it in the number 10 spot. And I know, right? Emotions like eat crack the top. It's right there. Let me zoom in. I can't even zoom in. It's at the very bottom. Trust me. It says number 10, Poor Things, with now 2.2 million this weekend with 1.275. The per screen average is down quite a bit. It's only at 15,549. Still a solid number, because you look at Wonka at 9,200 and Poor Things is at 15,500. So it's a bigger PTA, but it went down substantially from last weekend. We're at $70,000+. I told you guys what's going to happen with Poor Things. It will fall apart as the expansion progresses, because it's just not going to hold the attention of the average moviegoer. They're going to hate the film. I mean, it's 100% right. You guys know I'm right 99.8% of the time. It's going to be savaged by the average person. But so far, I've got to say that Searchlight has rolled this out perfectly. It's exactly how you want to do it. Another film that debuted this weekend was American Fiction, with a little over $220,000 from 7 screens. Decent debut. That is a streaming movie coming up here. Well, I mean, it's theatrical now, obviously. Thank you, Amazon. Not like Netflix, right? Apple can do it. Amazon can do it, not Netflix. American Fiction will be, I imagine, streaming in the new year, but they'll give it a little bit of a, moderate distribution across the United States before it gets to the streaming platform. And it's a good film, not a great film. Go back and watch my reaction for that film. I think I nailed it. It's just too episodic, and that's where Cord Jefferson and his TV roots are very apparent. Let's go over the top 10 films. Also, I want to mention this, that the Zone of Interest opened with 4 screens, New York, LA, with about 30,000 per. That sounds good, right? It's double what Poor Things has. But when you compare it to the PTAs of films like Asteroid City, Beau is Afraid, and Poor Things, all of those $70,000 plus, that is way under that. I love the Zone of Interest. I want you to see the film. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a film you're going to like, right? It's not like an entertainment value, but it is an impact. It will absolutely devastate you. So that is one of my favorite films of the year when it gets to you eventually, but they're doing a very small rollout of that. Top 10, here we go, and then we're going to roll out of here. Wonka, number 1, 39 million, already 150 million plus worldwide. Hunger Games coming up on 150 million domestic. We're getting another one. I have no interest, but apparently other people do. The Boy and the Heron fell 60% in weekend 2. No surprise. The anime fans came out in force opening weekend as it expanded. Last weekend, it took the number 1 title. This weekend down, but it still has 23 million pocketed already. Godzilla -1 down only another 43%. It's holding very well at $34.3 million. Trolls is up to $88.6 million. Wish at number 6, only $54 million for this film. Like 120 some million worldwide. Think about this for a moment. Wish is, as you know, Disney. Think about Frozen. Over $1 billion for both Frozen and Frozen 2. And here we are, just 5, 6, however, what was Frozen 2? Let's say 6, 7 years ago now. Was it even that? Was it 5 years ago? It's at $54 million stateside. Disney animation. Disney's no question been impacted by everybody who's pissed off at the agenda pushing. There's not even a question. It's so obvious in these numbers. You can't miss it. What is Christmas with the Chosen Holy Night? Was that like a concert? 4.6 million. Napoleon, 57 million. By the way, worldwide on Napoleon's 150. So it's not a bomb, guys. Listen, it's a $200 million film, but remember, this is an Apple. They were hoping for some Oscars. I don't know what's going to happen because it's not doing well so far is when it comes to awards. It didn't even get a Golden Globes nomination for Joaquin Phoenix. As you know, he got it for Beau's Afraid. So that film is at 150 million plus worldwide. Renaissance. Who nailed this? Can I have some love again? Give me a like right now. Ready? What did I tell you about the Beyonce film? I told you it wouldn't do anywhere near Taylor Swift numbers. But this is even lower than I thought. It's only at $31 million. 31. It hasn't even made, well, now it's at about a third of what Taylor debuted with. My God, that is, you talk about a difference between two artists and popularity. We talked about it, though. Beyonce was bigger 5-10 years ago. Her time is coming past. Obviously, with this film, you can see it. It's not nearly the same. Taylor Swift is a phenomenon. Beyonce at this point is not. Obviously, look at the numbers. Poor Things, again, number 10. All right, couple comments. If I have them, some good ones. Otherwise, I'm rolling out of here. It's anyone but you. Thank you for that. That's what it is. Anyone but you, Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. I nailed it. I didn't even need to see it. I remember. She's very good in that HBO Max film. God, whatever that's called. She's very good in that, too. Yeah, it's early. Whenever I do these early shows, the brain's quite not firing like the way that it does at the 8:30 my time here in LA tonight for the big show. We'll talk about Rebel Moon. We'll talk about all of the Netflix issues. And it's not just about the fact that they don't have theatrical. It's about the fact that they are destroying Hollywood. I'll explain that tonight coming up on the big show. For now, live from LA. You've been watching Breaking Box Office. See you tonight.